It's gonna be a rough one, guys. Hey guys, what's up? This Punk Guy here. Thanks for joining me back on my review channel. Today we're doing Anti-Flag's newest full-length LP that just dropped about 2 weeks ago. But before we get into all that, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Add me on Instagram at this punk guy. I really would appreciate it. And also, please share these videos with everyone. You know, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about everything in this video. This is going to be kind of a harsh one. So as a huge fan of Anti-Flags, I have a lot to say about this album. So let's just jump right into it. This is the 13th full-length album release of Anti-Flag's Lies They Tell Our Children. Here's the front, here's the back. This was released on Spinefarm. And if you guys don't know who they are a punk activist group from Pittsburgh, PA, and their last release came out in 2020, which was called 2020 Visions. I also did a review. I'll put a link somewhere there at some time if you want to see that review. So I like talking about the cover, so let's talk about this cover for a second. And I gotta be honest, I'm really not digging the front or the back. It is an art collage done in that very punk rock-esque Dead Kennedy style, but to me, it's just kind of a political vomit on here. There's no real like focal point on here, so it's just kind of a mess of a bunch of things going on that's really kind of hard to translate into what they're saying. It's just, like I said, it's political vomit. All the stuff that we hate is on this cover. So this album is a concept album, but to me, it just really sounds like any other Anti-Flag album. It's full of political strife and anger and a little positivity thrown in there, but really, it's just kind of tackling everything that's happened since the 2020 pandemic. And as a lifelong fan of Anti-Flag, I've seen them evolve through all the stages sonically through their music, starting off as an anarcho band into the skate punk sound that they went through on Fad, to their last 3 albums, which I would consider more of their rock and roll phase. And I always feel like when bands move into this more rock phase, they always insist it's their more mature phase. And I guess you could say it's kind of more mature now because Justin doesn't wear his mohawk up anymore. But for real, I've been one of those people that's been accepting of all their evolutionary states as a band, especially their rock phase. American Spring is definitely one of my favorite albums of all time by them. But with each preceding album after that, it's really left me with a less exciting feel about them. To be honest, I gave 2020 Visions, their last album, a good positive review, but I knew after listening to it, I wasn't really gonna go back to any of those tracks. And it's been about 2 years, and I maybe have listened to it once since then. But I gotta be honest, guys, this album, Lies They Tell Our Children, is a real fucking chore to get through. And I fucking hate having to say that about Anti-Flag, because I really love them, and I really tried to make it through this album multiple times. And you're probably saying to yourself, why is this so different than any other of their last previous rock albums? They all kind of sound similar, right? True, yes, that may be true, but they do make some really weird, unique choices in here that just, I'm not a fan of. First off, they make a lot of weird melodic choices in this album. Songs like Imperialism sonically sound great. The musical instrumentation is awesome. It's great Anti-Flag. But Justin's melodical vocal choices that he makes in the intro that goes into the chorus is weird and rhymey that doesn't really make sense to the song. Chris number 2 is using this weird distortion on his voice when he screams, and it sounds super jarring. Nothing that's really inherent to how they normally would sound. And I get that these are all personal choices that maybe I don't agree with that they've made for this album, but I also feel there's a lot of underutilized collabs on this album, and there are tons and tons of collabs on this album. I think more than half the tracks have some type of collaboration, and I believe they are all somewhat underutilized. And to be honest, I don't even know who half these people on these collaborations are. It's not that I don't like it or I don't know them, so I don't like them on the album. It's just, I can't really tell like what makes it so special to have them on the track to begin with. For instance, the track The Fight of Our Life has Tim from Rise Against singing on here, and I didn't even know that till I read it on the liner on my Spotify that he was on here, and I went back, I'm like, oh yeah, there he is. I can barely make a difference that it's him. So let's get a little more detailed into the tracks, and there are 11 tracks on here, and thank you for not giving me 10, but at least 11. But really, by track 6, I was checked out. The track Victory or Death is where I have a real problem where it's placed at on the album. It sounds like a track that should be like a closer. It really is kind of a slower, more anthematic album that would start off as an intro, but not kind of stay that way through the whole song. So putting it smack dab in the middle of the album really kind of ruins the momentum of the whole album itself. Where it's supposed to be building, it kind of like shuts back down. Maybe if they put it towards the end, I would have enjoyed it instead of having to build up that momentum again after that, but it just feels like it's oddly placed, and to be honest, I'm just not a fan of the track. Hazardous is a very eerily similar song to Digital Blackout, which was released on American Fall, which I probably would have noticed if it wasn't the single off of American Fall. But let's not end this on a downer, because there were a few tracks that I actually did find enjoyable on here. Songs like Never Ever, spelled N-V-E-R, EVR, but it's definitely the most Anti-Flag sounding song out of all their other songs. Like, you could put this on a playlist with a bunch of their older songs and it would fit right in. And Stacey D from Bad Cop Bad Cop guest vocals on this track, which once again I feel she's very underutilized. I think she maybe has like 4 lines on the bridge on this track. So in conclusion, Anti-Flag always has a strong message. They always have a lot to say, and that's why I really love this band, and that's why I go see them every time they come around and play. But I just cannot get behind this album. No matter how strong the message is, the music must always come first. Like 2020 Visions, I will probably never listen to this album again. It's definitely going back on my shelf. Sadly, this is gonna get a 2 out of 5 stars for me. Never Ever, Fight of Our Lives, and Work and Struggle are definitely the saving graces of this album. I hate that they have such an important message, but it was such a drag to get through this album. That was my review, guys. Let me know, what did you guys think of Anti-Flag's 13th full-length album? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? What were some of the tracks that you enjoyed? Let's have a conversation, because I know it's very controversial about their whole evolution of changing into a rock band. I know a lot of people just kind of stopped listening to their new music, but I am a hardcore fan. I'm gonna pick up everything they have, whether I like it or not, just because I support the band and what they stand for. Don't forget to add me on Instagram at ThisPunkGuy, and give this video a subscribe and a like and a thumbs up and all that good stuff, and anything you could do, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. Like always, guys, I'll see you at a show! Wow, so that was a lot of word vomit. I hope you guys were able to get through this whole video just like I was able to get through this whole album. It was kind of a hard album to get through. I hate making such a negative review, but I have to be honest about how I feel. If you like this review, go check out one of my other reviews and click the bell notification for more videos, and I'll see you in the next video.